Let me preface this video by saying, in no way with this Q&A session or my new series, No Justice, Just Us, am I glorifying or promoting any penitentiary activities or anyone going to jail. We are not, I repeat, not glorifying it. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Justice, Just Us Q&A session. I have compiled questions from people that I know about my personal journey through the New York State prison system and just prison in general. So let's get into it. All right, let's go with the questions.
Okay, so what was your purpose for creating this series?
Firstly, I made this series to vent, just to tell my story, to get things off of my chest and to help me process through the things that I saw, that I said, that I did, that I was a part of in prison. And also I made this series um to help avoid recidivism. So maybe someone will see this series or this Q&A video or my other video, my top reasons on not to go to prison, and they will avoid going back to prison. Or someone who may be on the path um to going to prison, doing, selling drugs or doing things they shouldn't be doing. They may see one of these videos and just be like, yeah, I'm not really about that life. I need to change my life so I won't go to prison. And lastly, to remind anyone who has loved ones in prison to not forget them. You know what I'm saying? Like, to show them love, visit them, send them packages, write them, put money on the phone so they can call you, all of the things, because they need love. It's rough in there, and people, they really don't know. They know it's not a good place, but they really have no idea how rough it is in prison. So those were my reasons for making this series.
Did you try to mentally prepare yourself before you went in?
I definitely did. I spoke to a few people who I knew who had been in prison before, and I asked them for advice, like, what was it like? What's the best advice you can give me about how to move, how to stay safe, some of the rules, because prison rules are very different from rules in the world. I had to do a lot of solitary work, which means I sat by myself and had to get used to being by myself, because in prison there's different stages of prison. You either around a lot of people, but you can feel alone around those people because you don't know them and you're possibly not like them at all. Or you might be in solitary confinement, or you may be in a cell by yourself, and you have to get used to being by yourself and processing your thoughts and just being comfortable by yourself. So I did a lot of that, a lot of thinking, because prior to going to prison, I had lots and lots of things, issues going on in my life at that time. So yes, I did lots of preparation on how to move before I went to prison.
Did you try to play out any scenarios in your head and ask yourself how you would react in certain situations prior to being locked up?
Uh Maybe a little bit, but I knew that for the most part, um I had no idea what was ahead of me, but most of it was just self-defense stuff. Like, I saw myself, like, I envisioned, like, people, like, maybe questioning me in a manner to find out if I'm food, or if I'm a lick or not. You know what I'm saying? If I'm soft, and how I will respond. And if I got that one person that, wasn't satisfied with my answer, or they, was maybe trying to call my bluff, call bullshit, like, how would I handle that? Like, even down, to, I just had to come to the realization, like, you may have to fight, and shit, you may have to stab somebody. You know what I'm saying? I At this point, I'm a free man who's never been to prison, and I'm 40 years old at that time. I was 40 years old, and that, it was a realization I had to really come to grips with. You may have to do that to survive. So I was wrapping my head around that. Yeah.
So, what were some of the things that somewhat kept you grounded and gave you some sense of peace while in there?
Hmm. Well, I had a lot of things to keep me grounded. Far as my upbringing, I grew up religious, even though I'm not religious now, and I wasn't then. From my perspective, I transcended to be spiritual. So that my spiritual life kept me grounded. My sense of um family, like I know that I have family and friends who love me, and I wanted to get back to them. I didn't want to extend my stay there. Um, and knowledge, you know what I'm saying? When you have knowledge of self and you have general knowledge, you know that intelligence supersedes all. So I that kept me grounded because I was smart enough to foresee trouble, and smart enough to avoid, you know, troublesome situations and troublesome people. So those are some of the things, especially thinking about my children. Like I didn't want to be there, so I knew I didn't want to do anything that was gonna extend my stay. So that kept me humble and grounded. And then, just it's just like I know that in there it's testosterone driven. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's the toughest, roughest, hardest, gun bustingest, drug sellingest. And I mean, and that wasn't my life before I went in. I wasn't gonna act like it was when I was in there. And I'm not a fronter. I'm not a liar. I just can't do that. So I just had to go be me. I went in with the mindset of I'm gonna go in there and change people. I'm not gonna let them change me. As I was going in there with the thought that I would change them for the positive, because I knew I could only get changed for the negative for the most part.
Did you see any fights? Did you get into any fights?
So yes, I did see fights. I saw quite a few fights. Um, and did I get in any fights? Maybe. I'm gonna say, if you want to know if I got any fights or any drama, any trouble, watch the series. No Justice, Just Us. you know, uh, you just gotta watch the series. It'll all unfold in there.
So I can imagine that the days went by slowly because you were somewhere you didn't want to be. However, how did the time go for you?
It was super, super slow.
Hmm.
Super, super slow. Like every second felt like days. Like it was super slow. That's the only thing I could say. I saw uh someone I know get pregnant, have a baby, and the baby start walking. And the whole time I was there, uh, yeah, the time was. I mean, while I was in there were times where I was so bored. I was praying like, God, like please, please, like relieve me of this. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was torture. You know what I'm saying? It was torture because when you're in the free world, you have the option to do things. We have phones, we have social media, you have movies, you have all of these platforms you can watch shows and movies and such. You can get up, you can leave, you can go get something to eat, you can go to the park, you can do all these things. And there, we have none of that. You have literally none of that. You have no communication with the outside world if it's not your phone time. Um, you know so the time was super slow for me. That's all I can say about that. It was dreadfully slow. Like I did 2 years, it felt like five.
Did you witness any rapists or pedos getting beat up or treated badly by the guards or other inmates?
uh i i did. I did. Like the chomos, they get no respect in there, and they shouldn't.
What is a chomo for people who don't know what that
A
means?
chomo is I don't want them to flag anything. So
Oh,
it
okay.
is a person who has inappropriate
Mm.
relations with the underage person. So yeah, I've seen them get their trays slapped down at child. I seen they're on the phone and people just walk by and hang the phone up. I used to walk by this one and bump him all the time, like just bump him on purpose because I just didn't like him and his stupid, ugly face. But I also witnessed chomos having too much freedom, too much leeway. Like sometimes they pay for peace and protection. I didn't necessarily see them paying for protection, but they had some amnesty for whatever reason. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why is nobody messing this dude up? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he just out here living? Because um they normally they don't let them get a phone slot. They don't let them use the phone. Sometimes they don't let them eat. They take if they get packages and stuff, they take their stuff. Like that's the way it should be. But I have seen them get mistreated as they should, and I also have seen them kind of skate through. A couple of them skate through. Some of the chomos, you probably didn't know they were chomos because so when you go in there to go certain places or to sit with certain people, you have to show your paperwork. And if you didn't show your paperwork, or he's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be coming in, da da da, da, they know you was BS and they will maybe give you a little time. But if you didn't show your paperwork, they knew that you had a funny charge. You was a scrapo or a chomo. So they wouldn't mess with you. You know what I mean? They wouldn't eat with you. They wouldn't let you sit at the tables and all of that. But some of them found a loophole, and how they would do it is like, let's just say they had a chomo charge and they did their time or whatever, they got out, and then they caught a robbery charge, and that's what they're in there now for. So when they people ask to see their paperwork, they'll show them the paperwork from the case that they're in prison on now, which says that they got a burglary charge or a robbery charge or whatever, and it may not show the past chomo charge that they had. So that was a way that they could beat the system.
Were there any women guards flirting or messing with any inmates that you saw?
Mm. Well, upon self, not that I saw. I'm sure it has happened, but not that I saw. For the most part, I I wasn't I didn't see a lot of female guards, like a lot of lady COs. I didn't see a lot until I landed in the final penitentiary. I was in the last one, and there were only a couple female officers there. But no, I didn't see any. Honestly, I was hoping that I was one of them dudes that was gonna get it in with a female CEO, and I could have her sneak me Burger King and a phone and all that in there, and I can get my little rocks off. Nah, didn't happen for me, and I didn't know anyone that was involved in that. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anyone even. If I felt like they were lying about it, I wasn't aware of any of that because there weren't a lot of um female COs, and not only were there limited female COs, but I mean, I was locked up all upstate New York, and it's very racist up there. So all of the COs, the female COs, were white, and the majority of the people in the prison were black and brown, and then you had some white. So the likelihood of them messing with a prisoner was decreased, I'll say.
Did you masturbate? How does that work? Like,
Mm. Well, okay. So, um, prison definition, one they call it cashing out. That's one of the terms for it. So, I personally did not cash out the whole 2 years that I was incarcerated. I did not cash out not one time. How does it work? to my understanding, what the guys would do is they would get their material, they would get a magazine, and they would get their towel at the very least. Those two things. You go in the bathroom, you go to the very last stall, you lock it, and you put your towel over it. Now, the purpose of the towel is a dual purpose of the towel. One, it blocks the seams of the door. You know, you can see, like, when the door shuts to the stall, you can see through the little it'll block the seams so no one can see in if they happen to walk by. And also, when you see the towel draped over the edge of the thing, you know that's just an unspoken rule. You know somebody's in there cashing out. Especially if you see a towel on the last stall, you just don't go down there. If you gotta, you gotta piss, you go to the urinal, you wash your hands, you get out of there. Some guys build apparatuses, like I saw a guy come get a magazine from my bunkie one time, and he had his towel with him, and he had like the end of a toilet paper roll and like a rubber glove, and I don't know what was in it. I didn't ask him the mechanics of it. I wasn't, I didn't want to know about his jail girlfriend. Wasn't too concerned, and I knew, like I said, I wasn't gonna make one because I wasn't cashing out. I had firmly made up my mind I wasn't doing that. Plus, for me, the reason why, one of the biggest reasons why, the ambiance, like, is it smells like funky, stanky ass men. I'm in prison. There's no women around. I mean, it's nothing visually stimulating, nothing like scent wise that's stimulating. I can't hear a woman's voice or any moaning. It just I had plenty of things on my mind to distract me from that. So I was not concerned, at the very least, about cashing out. But some guys, yeah, they did go in there with apparatuses, or, you go Pamela and her five sisters. You go in there with that and get it done.
Did you meet anyone in there who didn't have a support system, family or friends on the outside? How did they seem mentally?
That's a very good question. Yeah, there's lots of guys in prison that don't have outside help. And that's why, like I always say, for the people who have friends and family incarcerated, you know how the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Don't forget them, because I've seen them. I've been amongst them, and they really need help. They need love. They need money. So yeah, there's a lot of people who take really shitty jobs in there because they need money. So working for the prison, now I'm not going to tell you how much I made, because you have to watch the series for that, or what my job was, but you literally making nothing. So let's just say, if you work 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, you could, you could make less than $1. And then when you go to commissary every 2 weeks, what does that add up to? You can get you maybe summer sausage, and then what else you gonna eat after that's gone? You have nothing else to eat. So people rely heavily on the chow hall food, which is T-Rash, is so bad. Um, for the most part. And if you don't have people sending you packages, sending you money, then they have to take really shitty jobs like washing drawers and bowl clappers and all of that stuff like that. So another exclusive, a bowl clapper is someone who washes your dishes in prison. So you can get contracts for that, but watch the series. I talk all about that in the series. So yeah, get people got it bad in there. Like, show them some love and support. If you have a few extra dollars, send it to them, because though that little bit of money you gonna spend on Chick-fil-A or some bullshit that you don't need, it could go a long way. They could stretch that money long in prison. So yeah, share the love, share the wealth.
Ain't no justice, just us.